stepping into Junior's Corner, bitches.
Introducing a new podcast,
Junior's Corner.
Junior's Corner.
In this corner,
You are now tuning into Junior's Corner.
Step into the ring.
Where's my mic?
Let's go.
Okay, so I'm gonna do a review of podcasts, and the first podcast I'm gonna start with is gonna be the Joe Rogan podcast. The reason why I wanna open and feature the Joe Rogan experience is because it became such a influence on me, and I know he doesn't like that, so I'm not crediting anything to him. I'm just saying that he allowed other people on his platform, and I discovered people that I didn't hear, or rather I wouldn't look for them or wouldn't know of them, right? So the Joe Rogan experience adds value to your life. He's just, I think, every podcaster's inspiration or aspiration. If you go to like his earlier recordings, it's him on a fucking couch, man. I mean, he still has a producer, but if you compare those videos to the videos of now, and then not only the videos, I mean, if you hear his podcast, just to guest talk about the location of his podcast, I mean, he has his own building. I think they say that he could produce other podcasts in there, which is true, dude. I mean, I might do that in the future. I might Dr. Dre the shit out of someone. But yeah, going back to the Joe Rogan podcast, he brings people along, like left-sided people, right-sided people, and you get to listen to both aspects. I don't consider Joe Rogan to be all the way right, and I don't think he's all the way left. He has a lot of people that I learn a lot from just listening to them. Fighter and the Kid, Eddie Bravo, Joey Coco Diaz, a ton of UFC fighters. I wasn't really into UFC. I started getting into it as everyone else at the same time, I guess. He has episodes where he's just shooting around shit with friends. There's a lot of podcasts out there. You could be turned off by listening to the wrong podcast or checking out the right podcast, but listening to the wrong episode, and maybe that particular episode is not your flavor of the month, so you end up not ever going back to said podcast, and you really kind of do a disservice to yourself because you don't really give it that chance. A couple of days ago, I was hearing that Joe Rogan's podcast is being dragged through the mud, but why? Because he has right-sided people. I actually enjoy those. I definitely got some conservative views. I like listening to all sides of the political party, and Joe Rogan is one of the best places for that. He has UFC and boxing star Deontay Wilder. I listened to his twice, Tyson Fury. I'm actually gonna watch his fight again today. Paid. Dude, Joe Rogan can have just surprise guests. Mel Gibson's been on, Wiz Khalifa, potential presidents. He has consistent guests, like, what's his name? Eddie Bravo. Dude, Eddie Bravo's a cool guy. Oh, dude, what's that guy's name? The astrophysics guy. You can go into a rabbit hole of each person, and Jordan Peterson is cool too. Brian Callen. He has a lot of guests that let you build a bond with them, or you get to hear someone's story. You know, you can relate to maybe something that's going on with you, and you can take ideas, or they tell you how they made it, or just stuff that they discovered. And I think like Mel Gibson was talking about something that helped his dad. There's talks about him having Kanye West too. I like to listen to a lot of different things, and Joe Rogan and his podcast, the Joe Rogan Experience, allows you to dive into that. I mean, if you listen to his podcast, it's different shit. It's fucking scientific shit. It's UFC shit. It's boxing shit. Friends just shitting around, like him and Eddie Bravo. Different people come through. Dude, DDP, Diamond Dallas Page. I watched wrestling when I was younger, but then I stopped when I got older. DDP was pretty cool. He has all sorts of people. So in closing, number one, the Joe Rogan podcast brings different people from different venues, from different parts of the world, from different political views, and you get to hear their side of the story, or their point of view, which in return maybe not educates you, but at least allows you to hear their story without someone attacking them. And let's be honest, sometimes people are attacked, and this way it opens up the door to a lively discussion. Number 2, the Joe Rogan podcast dives into such a deep knowledge of anything. I guess you could kind of say it's the Seinfeld of podcast. It's a show about nothing and everything, right? And he touches subjects such as drugs, weed, hallucinogens. Am I saying that right? I'm not. Number 3, he has, I'm not sure. Okay, we don't fact check here. Shout out to the Michael Rappaport Stereo podcast. I'm gonna take that page from his book. I'm not gonna fact check. I do have a computer in front of me. That's true. I'm not gonna fact check. I'm not gonna use it for that. The Joe Rogan podcast has about 1,500 episodes, and some of them are 2 hours. One of them, I think, is like 5 hours. There's no way you're gonna get through a Joe Rogan fucking podcast bench watching in a month, 2 months. I mean, I listen to it when I'm working, when I'm doing chores around the house, or when my kids are like at soccer practice and I'll have my headphones, or when I don't exercise. But I listen to other podcasts too. It's just Joe Rogan's one of my favorite. Although I don't agree with everything he says. I agree with more of things he says than not. If you haven't already, subscribe. I never say that. I'm gonna start saying